Nice. So hello everyone and welcome to module 2. Today it's Matthias and me and we're also recording it for you. So today we want to look at body awareness, meaning how do I perceive my body in myself and how do I feel home within myself, within the world. And maybe you can feel into or think about the moments that you are in a space, but you're not home within. Yeah, maybe we're a bit distracted or disconnected, or like it feels like we're a little bit on guard, yeah, with something. So, of course, this is not a physical home, but my body is my physical home in which I can travel within. And we're going to do some somatic practices today. Because I want to teach and go with you through the principle of titration. And if you want, you can take time to write it down. Titration comes from somatic experiencing. Peter Levine, he observed animals. It's also written in the book, The Body Keeps the Score. And he observed animals in the wild. And if we are also animals, yeah, in the wild, if our DNA has this evolutionary purpose to survive, we can learn a lot about from animals. We can learn a lot from animals, yeah? So when you imagine a tiger and a deer, for example, or yeah, in the wilderness, a deer is very calm, tiger as well. There is a tension. And when they meet each other, so they notice relationally the presence of one another, there's a trigger. In the deer, there's the trigger of fear and flight, so it starts running. And in the tiger, there's the trigger of hunting. I want to chase and attack. But we want to stay with the deer, because if animals would get traumatized, they wouldn't be able to survive. Yeah, if a deer, once it got attacked and it survived from a tiger, after running, what happens? They release adrenaline, they release oxytocin, they shake off everything, and then they continue their day. So this means animals have a capacity to self-regulate that is naturally embedded in them. You also see it with baby deers that freeze. They just, boop, they don't do much, they freeze and they wait for a threat, something dangerous, something challenging to pass. But then they shake a bit and move again. And in neuroscience, there are two principles. There's neuroception. I feel you feeling me. And I feel danger around me, perceived danger, real danger. So my sympathetic nervous system activates the parasympathetic nervous system. We're getting very nerdy now. So that hormones and fight, flight, freeze reactions are activated to keep us safe. But again, animals have the capacity to regulate. And unfortunately, we don't always. So let's look at what happens to humans now. As children, so neuroscience is telling us the cognitive mind, the part of the brain, this part, the prefrontal cortex, that is responsible for logic, reasoning, but also empathy, understanding, listening, making sense of things, and like an adult, is still developing until the age of 25. I think I said it last time. So if we are still developing at the age of 25, what is happening when we meet challenges in the human body that has not learned to self-regulate naturally? And I'm going to go into that of why that is not happening. So when overwhelm hits us, life splits into a numb part and an activated part. Because for the nervous system of a child, something is too much. So the experience cannot be regulated in the present moment by the nervous system of a 2-year-old. Yeah, the parents are screaming and fighting. That cannot be processed by a 2-year-old. It feels fear. It's normal. The parasympathetic nervous system that is responsible for fight, flight, freeze, fawn is activated. In the sympathetic nervous system, no, the other way around. The parasympathetic nervous system, we're responsible for calm, regulation, love, connection, gets numb. And in between these two, there is a friction. So the part of my body that is responsible by default, by nature, by evolutionary purpose to keep me safe is reacting normally. But if it's not being met by another more adult nervous system that has capacity to co-regulate, in this case our parents, it shuts down. And that's what we tend to call too much. And triggers touch that point, that too much. Now, what could prevent this from happening would be a loving presence, grandma, grandpa, mama, papa, that can meet us in the fear. So how many times we were crying or scared or angry, which are very normal responses for overwhelm. But our caretakers said, no, don't cry. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid. Or no, don't be afraid. Be brave. Be strong. So what happens to that part of us? Says, oh, there is no space within life itself, within my environment, within my family, where I can be met and allowed to express fear. So when we do feel the fear again, because it does happen again, we have learned by conditioning that it cannot exist within us or that it cannot belong into a space. And what happens then? Now, if we take it step by step, we develop survival strategies and survival mechanisms and defense mechanisms. Meaning, I'm never going to do that again ever. Because I'm going to feel fear or anger or sadness, and that has no space. But what if we, as adults, start reparenting those numb parts of ourselves? So I believe that the healing journey is my capacity to give myself the allowance and the space that I didn't have as a child to feel, to integrate, and to release the frozen parts within myself that are actually still active. So instead of going away from curiosity, exploring, freedom, freedom to love, to belong, to be, we go more into tightness, guilt, shame, isolation, which is a very normal response because there was no space within the body to receive that information. So retraction is very normal. It's normal to go back, to have a safer version of my inner experience. And why I'm saying all of this, it's because in this program, I want to normalize the fact that we're not there yet, where we want to be. So before we want to make steps forward, we need to acknowledge where we are. And that sometimes also means a step back and saying yes to where I am in the moment. Mhm. Does that make sense? Is that, yeah? Okay, good. So why do we disconnect from our body? It's because we didn't feel safe. There was no space for emotions, or emotions were unvalid, which made us forcefully, biologically, to shut down. So as a conclusion, we can say everything your body did was to keep you safe until now. Tired or overwhelmed, shy, scared, moving away from something. Everything your body did was intelligent, and it had a reason. And that reason is your story. Hmm. So maybe a question is, how do we navigate fear or stress right now? Or we are here to learn about triggers. How do I transform my triggers and integrate all of these things? Or integrate the activated parts within myself so they don't react anymore. I think I gave you this example with the dog. A dog or an animal that has been beaten, if you raise the hand, it will do this. That is the sympathetic nervous system already reacting to something of the past, which shows that the memory is still active within the body. And that the mind managed to create a story of something to keep you going. And that story can be either I am to blame, or you are to blame. I am not enough, or they were not enough. The space is not safe. Something is wrong outside. But when we turn that around, we want to look, oh, I don't feel safe. Why don't I feel safe? Oh, I'm scared. Okay, why am I scared? And what is the sensation of fear? And not to say that when I feel fear, there's something wrong. Because everything around can be perfect, no? Like the dog. I'm not hitting the dog, I'm just raising the hand. But the perceived safety is different through the eyes of trauma. The same as with, for example, soldiers that experience PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that have been to war. And every moment of light flickering, temperature changing, very little subtle cues that are perceived by the body and the nervous system, sounds, smells, can trigger activated parts that we perceive as being numb. And what can we do? And I think it's very important in the healing journey is to consciously start to create awareness of the body. That's what we do in therapy sessions as well, is we bring awareness and consciousness into the activated parts and into the numb parts. And this is what I want to do with you a bit after the presentation. So titration, this example that I was explaining, is we take in small and uncomfortable sensations of the numb parts and bring them in to the activated or more warmer parts. So through body awareness, this is called resourcing. I am resourcing myself. When I breathe, I resource myself. When I go to nature, I resource myself. When I drink a warm tea or cuddle with a friend, these are all resources. Yay! Yes. But unfortunately, yeah, these are like putting a patch on a wound. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to have a tea. It's very good. It's good to have friends. It's good to go to nature. It's good. It's very good to take care of yourself in this way. Yeah. And in the same time, through body awareness, we want to expand our window of tolerance to what we can hold. So, for example, no, I'm hearing some news about climate change, politics, different wars or peace movements in the world, and they shake me and they trigger me. I become angry or anxious. And that's okay. We should be angry on or anxious onto the state of the world. But as animals, we also want to be able to shake it off and go back to sleep at night. No? And what happens when we don't? We go into burnout or chronic disease or chronic stress or so on. But I said window of tolerance, and window of tolerance is my capacity to self-regulate in between these two parts, in between a part that is numb but still activated. Yeah, you can imagine it like it's underwater but still moving, like a volcano. And when somebody says something or life happens or I find myself in challenging situations, that volcano explodes. and I'm disconnecting from my body, to resourcing to the parts of ourselves that are present, that are loving, that are open, that are spacious, that have capacity to listen, to integrate, to understand, to make sense, and to love. Tea break. Does this make sense?
Um, yes, it makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I didn't got all, but yeah, uh, I can rewatch it.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Now, because we're in a space of in a training for triggers, I want to talk a little bit more about what are triggers and how we can perceive that the trigger is happening to us. And I'm going to write in the workbook maybe a question of how do you perceive triggers? So, present is seeing, perceiving, feeling, and sensing life consciously. Triggers are like a fog that interrupt the process of peace. No, they break our connection with ourselves, with others. They make us react in ways we didn't expect. So, this melody that we spoke last time, the synchronicity between me and all life itself, is interrupted. Why? Because when I'm triggered, I operate in the space of the past. And yeah, I also want to talk a little bit about burnout and being tired and long COVID and long moments of exhaustion. Yeah, because it can look like a calm movement, but in my school, it's hosting unintegrated active energy that is still operating. Because if I am in alignment with these two parts of myself and I have an expanded window of tolerance, I cannot be tired because I am alive, I'm present, I'm connected, I'm open and spacious. But if there is a part in me that I don't feel and I don't see and consumes more energy, where is this energy consumed from? It has to be consumed from somewhere. Who is paying the electricity bill? We are, our bodies. And then we feel tired and we want another coffee. I love my teacher. He says, you don't need another coffee. You need to look at your life. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Good. So again, for the process of titration, we are looking to take in small pieces of sensation or memory to avoid overwhelm. Yeah. We don't have to go fully into the memory that caused us pain to be able to heal it. Oh, even Zoom agrees. And the window of tolerance is the range. Yes.
Yeah, this titration, or I don't get this. I, how do I even write this? Or I don't have to. It's I
I write it for you and we can practice. Hmm?
okay.
Yeah.
Titration.
Yes. And the window of tolerance is the range in which your nervous system can stay regulated.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that's like the definition. So
Yeah.
the it's titration is the windows of tolerance where I'm regulated, or where I can regulate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Good.
I, I never heard this
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, it's a practice, yeah, started by Peter Levine in somatic experiencing.
Okay.
Yeah, because he saw animals self-regulate and come out of activated state.
Uh,
Mhm. Do you have questions?
Pete,
Yeah,
yeah, uh,
tell me.
Peter. Uh,
Le- Levine. Peter Levine.
okay.
Hmm.
Um, you. I don't remember the context, but you said till the year of 25. What was this again? Something.
Mhm. So our brain has different parts, right? So this part of the brain,
Yeah,
uh, in neuroscience or biologically, it's called the prefrontal cortex.
yeah,
That through the vagus nerve and in the nervous system is responsible with logic, reason, sense making, which means when I'm older, if my parents are fighting, I can make sense why. I can understand why. Yeah. But before the age of 25, that part of the brain is still developing. So as a child or as a teenager, when I experience intense or challenging situations, biologically, it's harder to make sense of them. It really is.
okay,
And the same part of the brain, when we get triggered, shuts down. It's called cortical shutdown. And I can tell you, you see it in the eyes of people, they go a bit offline, like they're a bit drunk.
yeah, yeah, and also the example with the dog. It's so it's like the person is raising the hand. The dog learns, okay, I then get beaten, and then if someone puts it up and nothing happens, the dog is, but he's still afraid. Yeah, okay, and that's yeah, and it's I mean it's the same with humans then, or with the trauma. Yeah. I wrote also this I didn't get the activated and numb parts. Um, yeah, can you maybe explain a little more about this?
Sure. And I also want to say with the animal example, with the dog example, humans, they scan, we scan for safety in
Yeah,
0.03 seconds.
yeah.
So by how I look, by how I speak, by how I feel, you perceive me, yeah? Neuroplasticity, you know me, and you perceive me as she's safe. And I perceive you as being safe. And then something between us can relax. But imagine when you are at the train station, wenn du bist am Bahnhof.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Your body is scanning
yeah.
who is safe, where is safe. Yeah. So by expanding your window of tolerance, we want to make safe here. We want to make it safe in your body. Exactly.
Mhm.
You are home within your body and you feel safe without scanning. And because then scanning becomes more real. You understand? So the dog is also scanning, but the hand is not real. That's why it's perceived safety. It thinks something wrong is going to happen. And the same with us. If we had very critical parents, we think our boss, the world, our partner, everybody's going to criticize us.
Mm.
We expect that. If we suffered from bullying, no, so like wounds are not necessarily physical. Wounds are very social and very emotional. And our nervous system is expecting the hand. So when we have elements that remind us of what happened,
Yeah.
no, we expect the same treatment. And what I want us to do today is, and why we're in this program, is to practice, to teach our nervous system to feel safe, to stop expecting rejection, criticism, blame, abandonment, and to allow us, as I said, curiosity.
Mhm.
Maybe I love someone, I'm attracted to someone, and I want to feel safe enough to go and tell them. And if they reject me or not, I can handle it. I can say, oh, okay, she didn't like me. Next. It doesn't completely destroy my world. Yeah? Hmm. Hmm. So, what do you think? Shall we practice a little bit? And then we can go to more questions, or is there anything else?
Uh, this one last question before. Um, you talked also about the exhaustion and the numb and active parts, and that something is, and I maybe you can explain this a little bit more.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, that's very good that you remind me. So, let's say like this. You live in a beautiful forest, right? With sun and flowers and mushrooms. and deers and fruits, and everything's good. You feel happy, you feel good in your body, you feel confident, you are connected to your higher power, to your voice. Things are good. You're having a good day. Yeah. And in that forest, there's also a dark lake. It's a black lake. It's not the blue lake, it's a black lake. And I want you to imagine in that black lake, there are like hundreds of televisions that you threw as a child from here into the black lake because the volume was too high.
Mhm.
It was too loud. The volume of that movie was too much. So your system
Yeah.
needed to mute. So what did it do? It took the movie, the television. Oh, this is happening. Okay. I put it in the black lake. But the movie is still running. You
Mhm.
can't hear it, but the movie is still running. Does it make sense like
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I like this metaphor. So with this picture, it's very good to, yeah, to get it.
But the lake is calm. And if we would look at like, oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, and this is like, is this then like the number parts?
Yeah,
So, and this, the number parts that are, yeah, that I put in the lake. So, yeah, okay.
exactly. Or you can look at it this way. Let's try like this with the exhaustion. You have a fridge that is running on electricity, no?
Yeah,
And inside that fridge, you have your body, inside your fridge body. You have different nice things. You have a hummus and you have a ice cream and you have, I don't know, some eggs and you have nice things.
but my body is in the fridge.
You,
What?
your body is the fridge. Imagine
And
it
my
like
body is the
your
fridge.
body is the fridge and you have nice things inside. Yeah.
Yeah,
But in some corners, you forgot an old sushi and it got frozen. You don't even see it, it's full of ice.
yeah,
Who is paying the electrical bill to keep the sushi frozen? It's you. Meaning our bodies consume energy to keep things
yeah,
frozen
yeah, yeah.
or to keep this dark lake calm.
Yeah, it's like I, it reminds me now of the in the last session where I said this energy to say something, and it's like the energy that I have to, yeah, don't, yeah, the energy that I put it down or don't let it get up. This is intense. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Because your body managed to say, I'm safe here. And that safety can be, I'm exhausted, but that's where I'm safe.
hmm,
But if we would relax that part, we can see there's more inside. There's the frozen sushi, but there's also beautiful, juicy things that you can eat to give you power. Yeah. Get out of that. And this is the numb part and the activated part. These are the two things.
ah,
Does it make sense now?
yeah. I even forgot that we talk about the number and the activated part. But yeah, it makes sense. The frozen sushi is the numb part, and the juicy mango is the activation where the energy is. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So imagine it like
Mm-hmm.
this. Now you love to play the guitar, or you see something that is interesting for you. That's the juiciness. It gives you energy.
Juiciness.
Yeah. Gives you, yeah.
Yes, I love this word. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
But then you have a memory of, hey, look, there's that dark lake over there, or the frozen thing, huh?
yeah.
Remember last time when you got hurt? Don't do that. Remember when? Remember? That's what our body's telling us always. Remember? Because the body remembers more than the mind.
Mm, yeah.
Mm. Okay. So let's start, shall we?
Yeah.
Good. Nice. So if you want, you can, yeah, lay down or be on your chair, and you can take a moment with your eyes closed or open as you want. It also helps to have eyes closed. Yeah. And I'm just here. Hmm. Yeah. So we just want to start together with breathing, noticing your breath. Hmm. And maybe you can just take a look as you're listening to me right now to make a screenshot of how you feel yourself, the way that you feel your physical body. Hmm. And we just want to take a screenshot from I feel my body deeply. I have a sense of my physical body to I barely feel anything. I don't feel my arms or legs or my ears. No, there's an entire spectrum. So we just want to see how it is, not how it should be. Or we're just looking. Hmm. Because that's what is the right thing. And if you can, when you have that image, you can bring your awareness deeper into your belly, your pelvis, or your legs. And you can use your breath to slow down and drop deeper into the sensations of your body. Maybe you can feel how you're laying down, how your body feels on your bed or floor, the ground. And again, slowing down exhalations gently, deepening the awareness of your body, of your legs and feet. And as you keep your attention and your focus on your feet or your legs, you will see that your perception is more refined. You can sense how your feet are breathing. And you can sense the relation of all your body breathing. You being alive, you are a process. You are not static. And if your mind offers you thoughts, let them pass and continue keeping your attention with your breath. And we want to find a place in our body that is warm, that it's safe, open, cozy, juicy. And you can name it in your mind. Maybe it's your hips or your legs or your belly, your heart. Hmm. And once we have that, I want you to find a sensation that is a bit more uncomfortable, like tightness in the chest or tension in the back. And we want to stay there for a couple of seconds, breathing, noticing. Something is tight or heavy, anxious, scared. And just staying in it, being uncomfortable. And then gently return to the warm feeling again. Noticing the release. And again, we go to the uncomfortable feeling, the tight, scary, heavy. Heavy sensations, and trying to stay just 10% more with it. Noticing when it's enough. And then going back again to the warm, open, loving space within me. And if you want, I invite you to put your hand on your heart. Noticing how your chest is breathing up and down. And if you can, I invite you to make the movement between the two more fluid and bigger. So gently from the open, love, spacious, safe part to the heavy, tight, scary, more difficult part. And just pendulate from both. And maybe you can notice what is truly happening. What is your inner experience? If you can get in touch with those places that are sad and lonely or empty, in the parts that feel truly beautiful, truly pure, and truly seen. Taking in another breath. And I want you to notice, who is that which is moving from these two parts? Your bigger awareness, a higher power. Who is that which is observing? And just feel that you are bigger than these sensations, that you are more than. And if you can, maybe you can tell your body, I honor the ways you protected me. I am learning to trust you again, creating more space together. I will make a space for you to be scared, to be sad, or to be angry. I can be with you now. So if you want, you can take a couple of more minutes to feel what this exercise did. And if you can notice if you can allow yourself to be yourself. To have the safety of being here as you are, welcomed. Mm. Good. Mm. That's a shiny face. How is it, Matthias? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm calm. Very, yeah, I liked it. It was, I really felt this to give myself space now on my body. And I love the parts also to just to speak to my body and honor it. And um, yeah, it's nice.
Mm. Mm. And could you feel that you are the one holding these parts? That these parts are not necessarily you.
Uh, yeah, kind of.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I
Mm,
mean, the first time is, yeah, it's the first time. Um, but yeah, we want to, so expanding this window of tolerance feels like
mm,
open, spacious, exactly. And
mhm,
feeling this, oh, I'm okay. Things can happen and I can move in between.
yeah.
I can listen to my body. I'm allowed to take breaks. And I can move in between tightness and spaciousness. Yeah.
Mhm,
In between numb and active.
mhm.
Hmm. In between sushi and mango.
Yeah. Juicy mango.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so I would say that's a practice for this week. Yeah.
Will you upload then a extra? Will it be an extra upload on the course page?
This exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Is that good?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. It's just I like to give these resources a little bit after so that things can land.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then we just consume it, and forget about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Good. Is this complete for now? Do you have more questions?
No,
Mm.
I'm good.
Mm. And you can always write to me. You saw that, and yeah. Yeah, I'm here. We're here. Mm. So then I wish you good night
Yes, good night.
and a spacious practice. And I'm curious how your week will be.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. Good. Then
See you.
see you. I wish you well. Bye bye.